Hello my friends, it seems like the Wagner army is in a deep trouble. We can clearly understand it from watching this video that we're gonna watch together right now, and I just gonna translate all the words that Mr. Prigozhyn says here. He's the leader of the Wagner group. So let's go. Our advancement is not as fast as we thought it would be. I think that even before the new year we could have taken Bakhmut if our military bureaucracy hadn't interfered in our operations, and we understand that all of the weaponry that Wagner Group has comes from the Russian army. Basically, Russian army just writes off the weaponry somewhere because it's illegally to transfer the military units to some sort of the private armies. They are forbidden by the Russian law. Yes, there is the dictatorship in the Russian Federation, but still there are lots of the officials and lots of the bureaucracy. So they need to sign lots of the papers and transfer those units somewhere. Usually they say that the service time of the units expired and just write off those from the Russian army, and Prigozhyn takes all the weaponry, artillery, even airplanes. And here he is complaining that they don't have enough ammunition, enough weaponry, and what they have comes very late. And he said that it is done for purpose. Okay, I will skip a little bit. I already watched this video. He said that we have the structural change of the Wagner army, and as everyone knows, we're not hiring prisoners any longer. And still, those prisoners who were taken before, they continue to perform their duties on the front line. And after they serve for some time, they will be released from Wagner and will get their freedom. But there are not many cases like that, because mostly they use prisoners for the straightforward attacks, and they have severe losses in that count. He said that obviously all of the Wagner group will shrink, and we would not be able to perform the same tasks as before. I think here he says about the Soledar. So it could be the last time that the Wagner army took some sort of the town. By the time we're taking Bakhmut, there should be the successful advancement on the other parts of the front lines, but Wagner army works just around the Bakhmut and inside the city. Recently they were able to move to the residential area, to the private sector, but still stuck there because Ukrainians resist very hard. So here he says that the Russian regular army also should go on the massive attacks, but in Vuhledar they were beaten hard by Ukrainian artillery. So he says that basically Wagner doesn't have enough forces to act on many directions. They have specific direction, which is Bakhmut, and there they also struggle, and without the major help of the Russian regular army there would be no massive advantage also in Bakhmut direction. And just look at his face, he's really disappointed filming this video, and compare it to the previous, then they took Soledar, how happy he was. Now he understood that without the new prisoners, without the new blood, they're just doomed in Bakhmut. And again he complains about the terrible bureaucracy in the Russian army and about the inaction of the Russian brigades that fight on the other parts of the front lines. So he says, Russia, please advance also, because here we cannot do anything without your advancement. Well, as I said to you, Russia tried to advance on many directions, but were punished for it. So definitely all of the rumors about the conflict between Prigozhyn and the regular Russian army just been confirmed with this video. And for Ukraine, it's great. Prigozhyn was told not to hire new prisoners from the Russian prisons. I'm sure about it. Remember how Wagner punished their prisoners who were imprisoned by Ukrainian forces and spoke a lot? Well, there was one more video released around 3 days ago. Then this guy was exchanged for Ukrainian soldiers. So our guys came back to Ukraine and this guy went to Russia. So Wagner arrested this guy and filmed the video, but they have blurred the exact hammerhead moment, and today Prigozhyn released this video. Let me show you. So now he is alive and I just hope that this video was not filmed before that one. So why they're doing this hammerhead stuff and film that openly and published on social media, it's just to frighten everyone around, and in particular their own prisoners, not to run away from the front lines, because they see what might happen if they surrender or run away from their positions. Basically, this hammer execution, that's how Wagner provides the discipline for the prisoners, because it's very difficult to control the outlaw man. They should afraid more to run or surrender than to fight. But if this guy over here is still alive, I'm very surprised why this was done. So they showed the Hawks video before with his some sort of the execution, and now they show that this guy is alive. Probably there was some sort of the influence and Prigozhyn from the Russian elite saying that, guy, it's too much. Because still there are some forces in Russian Federation, even close to the Putin, who would like to cancel everything that is happening and withdraw the Russian army from Ukraine to make it happen as it never been and continue the normal business. And this circle of people gradually increases and Putin feels the pressure. And our intelligence services say that they work with some sort of the high-rank elite in the Russian Federation, and they provide information to Ukraine and to Western allies. So definitely the elite battle inside the Russian Federation already have been started. Now let's go to Bakhmut, because on the rest parts of the front lines everything more or less stands still. But in Bakhmut, really, Russia, or it's better to say Wagner, moved their forces from the north. Basically in this area, so before, let's go to the timeline, I'm gonna show you. So before it was like that, and today they were able to capture some of the fields in that area, because there are no any villages, nothing, but there is the road that goes from the Bakhmut till Slaviansk, and it's very important, I would say. But still they cannot use it for their supplies, and the most important thing is here in Chasiv Yar and in Vanevsk. The Russians were pushed yesterday and the day before, so we sent some of the reinforcements. Wagner army confirmed that, and they were forced to retreat from this area, and there is no movement from the Wagner in the city itself. Yes, the city is under constant Russian attacks, but we have the supply lines and we have reinforcements, so that's why Prigozhyn just begs the Russian army to start the new offensive actions near to Kremina and near to Vuhledar. We need, he said, to deflect the Ukrainian forces, to deflect the attention, and they can put more forces to Bakhmut. Now Ukraine gathered most of the forces in this area, so Wagner cannot do anything there. With the current situation, even though this picture looks dramatic for Bakhmut, Russia fenced from the north, from the south, and there is still the big threat for the Bakhmut city, but now I'm quite positive about it. So because of the conflict, because of the terrible bureaucracy in the Russian army, Wagner cannot do anything. And definitely it creates the big crack in Putin's regime. And there are lots of the people in Russia with this so-called imperialistic mindset that would like to follow Prigozhyn, but not Putin. And in just 13 months there will be the presidential elections in the Russian Federation. Yes, Putin may sign any number for his victory, but as it was in Belarus, then Lukashenko said that he won the elections. People there had different opinion and riots started. And I think Putin afraid riots more than the war. And that is why basically he decided to get rid of the possible competitors, including Prigozhyn and his Wagner army. And that's why Wagner's have the problems with supplies and no more prisoners for their army. That reduces their actions dramatically on the front lines and secures the situation for Ukrainian forces in Bakhmut. There is still the chance that Wagners might take the city under their control, but it's much lower compared to what it was a week ago. As you can see, the situation may change dramatically under the reasons that sometimes are out of view. My friends, and now please press the like to this video. Also, there are some of the links in the description under this video for you to follow if you want to support my channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.